The 806th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 806 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to my Toronto Blue Jays, who just got done taking care of the Atlanta Braves at their...
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Yep. That means they won the series over those big bad Braves. So this goes out to them. Who am I? I'm the Ask Grinding Machine, Jeff Fox. See, that sounds right. Yesterday's episode, I forgot, but that's my name, and that rolls off the tongue. The Atlanta Braves fan would be Gumby Vreeland, and at least one of our listeners usually likes to talk Braves with you, so there's a few of them out there. This is not an Atlanta Braves podcast. It could be, but it's not. This is CFFC 141 podcast. Yes, lots of regional action. Regional MMA extravaganza is what we're doing. We're doing 8 straight episodes of regional MMA, but that is where the money is made. Thanks to one man and one man only. That would be Daniel Gumby Vreeland. How's it going? You're still sick, so I know how it's going, but how are your picks doing this? Have you had time to tally everything up?
Yeah, we've tallied the sheet. We had a so-so week last week, and we've been hovering right around even money. Punched everything in this week. Scrolled to the spot where it auto calculates it all for me, and it says I'm up $4.
All right.
Which is, it's in the pot. Yeah, it's in the positive. Yep. Which, like I said before, we're definitely having a slower year this year, but still a lot of, what's my favorite expression? There's still time.
There's still plenty of time. We're only in April, for God's sakes. It's still snowing on and off up here, so it is still plenty of time for sure. Do you remember how you do a CFFC? You probably don't remember. It was a long time ago. Since we've covered one.
I'm generally good on CFFC. That's where I find a lot of underdogs. Because the basically the smaller the market, usually the worse sense of the underdogs there are. So I usually find a lot of underdogs here on CFFC.
Yes, excellent. And they're moving down the coast. Usually they're more a Philly area. Now that they're going down the Atlantic coast, they're Tampa, Florida this week. So can't blame them for wanting to go get some sunshine. So that will be a Saturday event. We're going to cover it after I remind you, if you want all of our picks, all of our podcasts, all of the good stuff from SGPN, then get our app for free anywhere you get your apps. Just just search SGPN. All right. So CFFC 141 is the name of the game. Schoenfelder versus Guarascio. A couple of big boys in the main event. One of them with a bunch of face tattoos, and the other one with a lovely mullet. So this is a classic MMA heavyweight bout for sure. So like I said, Saturday the 19th, Tampa, Florida. If you want to go, the Florida State Fairgrounds is where it's happening. You get 13 fights. Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is good. Cage Warriors, which we covered yesterday, is at 1 p.m. So this one will lead into the other. You can keep watching the fights on UFC Fight Pass and keep making the money. All right, so we got 13 fights. We're covering Gummy picked the 5. Actually, it's the top 5 on the card. We actually have odds. Gummy's not seen the odds, so we'll see if I can make him guess or if I'm going to blurt them out by accident, which is what I normally do, at least with a couple of them. We'll see. It'll be a fun game. We're starting with big boys, starting and ending with big boys. Heavyweights, Jahsua, Jahsua, Marsh. It's probably Jahsua, Marsh versus Vitor Resende. 3 5-minute rounds at heavyweight. Marsh is Shrug Master. SHRUGGMASTR. All one word. What do you think of that nickname, Gummy?
I kind of like it.
You got to have him on your show so you can talk about the interesting spelling of his name and find out why his nickname is the Shrug.
I've seen him fight live before. I've seen him fight in person. Yeah, he won. He fought and beat the Rasquatch. The Ross Hilton, the Rasquatch.
Yes.
Yeah, he fought him in Cage Titans.
Well, there you go. The Shrug Master. All right. He's 7-7, Mr. Marsh. 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 6 times, submitted once. So he's been finished in all his losses. This is his debut in CFFC. He's won 2 of 3 and 4 of 6. TKO loss in his last bout. He does have multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch. Get this shirt right here. Get all of our gear at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky with it. Use Fed at 205 plus 8.
Plus 800, really?
Nope. I didn't say it. Plus 850.
I had plus 350 written down.
Oh, see,
tell me more. 850?
Vitao is Resende's nickname. So Big Vitor.
Big Vitor.
4-1, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. This is his debut as well. He lost his last bout. That was back in February 2023. Has not won since June 2021. 0-1 in PFL, 6 inches taller than Marsh. Guess what his odds are?
1,000, right? Like at least
1,500.
Yeah, I'm on Jahsua Marsh here. I was like,
hey,
it was going to be like a 350 underdog.
Yeah,
850 is insane. Vitor's not great. His attribute that makes him good is he's 6'9". It's nice. And he's like a lean 6'9". But watch his fight back. He was on PFL's Challenger Series when you could like win and get a contract if like Ray Lewis said you were good enough at it, which is like a weird concept in the first place. But PFL's PFL. But he fought Isaiah Pinson, who's like a stockier wrestling type guy, and he just got pieced up on the feet. Pinson just walked him back, dodged the kind of slow strikes that come from Vitor. And like Vitor throws strikes with 2,000% power every single time he throws them. So like you see him coming, and if you just get out of the way, he's got those long limbs that aren't easy to retract. And Pinson just closed the distance. He ripped to the body consistently. Resende just started turning his body and running away. And look, I know Marsh looks terrible at 7-7, but like, first of all, he's got good power. He knocked out, like I said, Ross Hilton. He's fought really good fighters. He fought Brendan Battle in that fight and like looked respectable in it. He's got a little bit of wrestling, but his boxing, again, despite being a 7-7, kind of sloppy looking, heavy, he looks like a regional level heavyweight. He's got really sharp boxing. He's very tight to his face. He doesn't overextend himself. He stays with himself. He uses a jab, which you don't see out of a, regional level heavyweight. He creates power in really small distances. And like, from what I've seen, despite the fact he's lost to some pretty good guys, from what I've seen, he comes in with a pretty smart game plan every time he fights. And against a guy this tall who like overextends himself constantly, I expect Marsh to have a pretty good path to victory here. So I was hoping for him at 350. When you dropped that 850 bomb on me, I got a little excited. I don't know.
Sure did.
What did we hit recently with when we picked
a big one
guy? Yeah, I think it was 852.
Nice.
So maybe that's our magic number. Maybe 850 is the magic number.
Maybe it is. Yeah. That line will get steamed down, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as this episode drops. So
I don't know if it will.
No, Gumby gets a head start on it though, because he can bet it before the episode even drops. So, all right. Hopefully, all you people get in on it at a good number. All right, we're going down a weight class, 205 now. Jimmy Hinel versus Tyree Sutton, both Americans. I want to know how you can know anything about these people because they have hardly any fights.
Oh, I know a lot about both of these people.
Look at him. Hinel is 3-1, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's never been finished. He still owes his rounds. This is his debut in CFFC. He lost his last bout. He's fight at heavyweight, 2 years younger than Sutton. Didn't say the odds. Aha. 1-1 with 1 knockout for Sutton. Never been finished. 1-1 in CFFC. So yeah, his fights would be easy enough to see. He lost his last bout as well. 2-0 as a pro kickboxer. His odds are blank. All right, Gumby, what do you think?
We got Hinel, slight favorite, maybe like -165.
105.
Oh, and Sutton. So Sutton's the slight favorite then.
Sutton's plus 125. Hinel's minus 105.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and I like that's a little lower than I thought. I thought Hinel was going to be a bigger favorite than that. But I like Jimmy Hinel in this fight. I think the big piece for me is just how like athletic he is. You don't see light heavyweights on the regional scene who move this well on their feet. I am a little bit worried about the wrestling defense because Tyree Sutton wrestled at Iowa Central, if I'm not mistaken. So he does come from a collegiate wrestling background, but in his last fight, when he started to get picked apart a little bit on the feet, that kind of went out the window. And I think Hinel is maybe even more talented than his last opponent when it comes to sticking and moving, getting in and out, keeping himself safe, all that kind of stuff. Jimmy Hinel is like, I have to say, both of these guys, very athletic for 205. You usually see some big clanky guys or some big, I throw bombs kind of guys. Hinel is, very quick. He jumps in and out. He's fast with the hands. Sutton is a good wrestler, but sort of hasn't rounded out his game. So I'll take the guy with a slightly more well-rounded out game in Jimmy Hinel.
Bombs with his dad, I assume, right?
Yes, of course. Body bags and throw bombs and put them in body bags.
Yes, everything's got a Z at the end. All right, before we dive into some more winning picks, we talk about Edge Boost. Ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Ever need to cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but hit your ATM limit? Well, Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it without the delays that can come with traditional banks. For your high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you earn cash back rewards up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. Edge Boost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Get in on those Al Horford betting lines for the playoffs. And when you do head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code MMASGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. All right, got me excited about actually both the lines you got are better than you expected. So that's good. Things are looking up here. All right, third on the top is a women's bantamweight bout. Emily Martins from Brazil, Nikola Kacperska from Poland, 3 5-minute rounds, 135. I'll tell you about Kacperska first. She's 1-1. Never been finished. So she owes his rounds. She hasn't finished anyone, and she's never been finished. This is her debut in CFFC. She lost her last bout. She went 1-0 in Muay Thai, 1-0 in pro kickboxing. Martins is Galega, 2-1 with 2 submissions. She's been knocked out once, so she owes his rounds as well. And actually, yeah, she owes his rounds. The other one owes his finishes. All those fights are taking place in CFFC. She lost her last bout via TKO. She's a 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. 11 years younger than Kacperska, 3 inches taller.
Can I say Martin's negative 250?
You could say that, but you'd be way off.
Way off? Is it way bigger?
Way bigger.
Negative 450?
You're halfway there.
Negative 900?
Yeah, sadly. I think only one book has these odds now, so they could change, but books tend to copy.
All right. I like Martin's.
Okay.
I don't know if I like her negative 900 good. But I like Martin's in this one. 2 big problems with Kacperska is, like, first of all, she just doesn't throw enough volume on the feet. And like, she really doesn't put her body behind her strikes either. It's like she's touching you, but like that's all she's doing. Whereas like Emily Martin's, like when she hits, she's gonna do damage. And she's gonna get after it. And then as far as like on the ground goes, I saw Kacperska stuff a couple of takedowns in one of the fights of hers I was watching, but like it was almost by like sheer strength because she never once dug for an underhook to try to stop somebody from having double underhooks. And she just kind of like stayed in that position and just like got big and like spread her legs out and kept her base, which like, okay, cool. I'm glad it worked for you that time, but like, it's not going to work against somebody who's good at takedowns. And like Martins, as you mentioned, she's like a multi-time Pan Ams and world champion in jiu-jitsu, but it's at purple belt. So I'm not going to read too much into that. Like,
what color is your belt, bud?
Yeah, it's purple, and I don't have a world championship either. But like, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a real quick second, and I apologize for anybody who just wanted me to keep talking about this fight. It's just such a weird world where we're like, you're a world champion of the people who are roughly as good as you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're going to be a world, like, we don't give away a world championship for like beer league softball. We don't give away a world championship of like dad weekend soccer, but like we give away a world championship in terms of soccer. But we don't have like you're as good as the dads who do this for us with a nighttime activity, world championship. But we do in jiu-jitsu. We call people a blue belt world champion. You are the best person who's trained for roughly 2 years. And so that's a weird thing to me. But anyway, back to Martin.
over.
Back to Martin's. She is a really good purple belt when it comes to jiu-jitsu. She's, one of the better purple belts you're going to see out there. And when you're talking about Kacperska, who wouldn't dig under hooks, she's probably going to give up takedowns to Martins. Because not only does she good at actually jiu-jitsu, but I've seen her get some takedowns basically by getting in on the hips, and she really runs through her takedowns, which is what you want to see out of a prospect anyway, is that she doesn't, just get them and her hips sink and she stays there. She gets them and puts them up against the cage and winds up, traveling up the body and throwing some knees to the thigh. She pushes through them and finishes them. So I like Martins to probably score some takedowns on Kacperska, who won't do the right thing defensively. And then once it's on the mat, I like her jiu-jitsu quite a bit. She doesn't hit the takedowns. I also think her striking's better. So it's probably a reason why it's negative 900. Doesn't mean it didn't bum me out, hoping I could get close to 300. But, that's what we're going to take.
All the odds have surprised you. 3 for 3 with the surprises. Yeah. So
I've had the right person as the favorite in all of them. But the magnitude has been tricky.
Yeah. I'm sure our listeners will get it corrected for you. All right. To our co-main event, it is a men's lightweight bout between a couple of Americans, William Rentz, Shane Mistretta. 3 5-minute rounds, break her down. Telling you about Rentz's Iron Will. Rentz, 4-2 with 4 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds. All those fights are taking place in CFFC. He's won 3 of his last 4, including his last bout via TKO. Mistretta is 3-1, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds as well. They're due. These guys are going to the distance. This is his debut in CFFC. He's won 2 straight. He's fed at 145 and 170, and I won't tell you the odds.
All right. So my original guess is negative 110 on both sides.
Minus 225 for who?
Is it Mistretta?
Nope. Rentz.
Awesome. No, I actually
plus 185.
That's kind of a bummer. I am on the Rentz side. Okay. I was kind of hoping. I saw a fan poll on Tapology. I never look at those things, and you got me looking at them this past week. And I was like, oh, the fans are on Mistretta. And then I was like, but is it only because of the record? I feel like it's only because of the record. Because I do think
60%, yeah. 60-40 is a breakdown for Mistretta on Tapology.
Yeah, and I was hoping that meant Rentz. But then I watched him fight, and I was like, yo, there's no way Rentz is an underdog here. So I was like, we'll just go pick him. And, I called my people, and nobody had a good read on who was going to be the underdog here. So I thought we could maybe get close to even, but I like Rentz. The bottom line is just his entries into his grappling are so much better, so much quicker, so much tougher. Mistretta has a double leg that he uses, but it's he shoots from too far away sometimes, and it takes some readjustment and work on the cage. And Rentz is just good with body locks, good with trips, good with takedowns, and single and doubles too. And so haven't seen too much of his defense, but I have to imagine it's good enough that he's gonna sort of turn away Mistretta. And then on the feet, he's just so much faster. Much the same way I was just talking about him in the grappling. His striking is going to be so much quicker than Mistretta. If I watch them skill for skill, I just picked the line based on that instead of tricking myself and looking at the Tapology polls, I probably would have lined this pretty close to this. So I think you're probably getting decent value on William Rentz anyway. Also, the other thing I like about him too is when he does get top control, he's position over submission, does a really good job of sinking in his hips, keeping people on the mat. Whereas Mistretta is very interested in throwing tons of ground and pound. And typically it allows his opponent to make their way back to their feet much quicker. So even if Mistretta does wind up with takedowns here, I think Rentz gets back up.
Okay. We have got Iron Will as our pick. More odds that surprise Gumby. So, all right. Before we dive into the very last fight, we're going to break down and then our lightning round. Let me tell you that it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick and play for us. Underdog pick, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. And Gumby's going to tell you what sport we're playing right now.
So, the NBA playoffs get started on Saturday. And I'm going to take Ausar Thompson from the Pistons. Underdog Fantasy has him currently listed at 10.5 projected points scored. And he's had 11 or higher in 4 of his last 5 games. So I'm going to take the higher than on Ausar Thompson's points total here.
All right. So sign up with our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits only at underdogfantasy.com with our promo code MMASGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for NBA and golf. Picks so good it feels like cheating. Building your own model is simple and easy. Do they have Al Horford models? I assume they do for the playoffs. They did for the regular season. Plus, Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. You can get 25% off monthly subscriptions with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscriptions with promo code SGPN50. So that's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. All right, we're to our main event already. And it's a couple of big boys battling for the belt. A lot of beads there. Cage Fury FC Heavyweight Championship. The champ, Bailey Schoenfelder versus the challenger, Anthony Guarascio. 5 5-minute rounds if the big boys need that long. Challenger is the Daywalker, Guarascio. 3-0, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. So he's finished everyone. He owes his rounds. 1-0 in CFFC, 1-0 as a cage boxer, 3-0 as a kickboxer. Based on their last weigh-ins, he was 12 pounds heavier than the champ. Schoenfelder is Berserk. 5-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds. I have a feeling this isn't going 5 5-minute rounds. 1-0 CFFC and the current champ. He won it in his last bout, obviously. No, his last bout in CFFC. He fought in Contender Series in between there and lost via submission to who, Gumby?
Was it Denis Voivodkin?
Oh, you're going to make me look it up. You usually just have these in your...
I think it was Denis Voivodkin.
I've never even heard of that person, but I've seen them fight, though, obviously.
Voivodkin, I think is the
yes, Danilo Voivodkin.
Yeah, Danilov's Voivodkin, yeah.
And he didn't get a contract, right? Because I have never seen that guy fight.
I think he did, but I think he's the guy who turned it down. I might be, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Someone recently turned it down because he wasn't interested in the 10-10 contract to start.
I think that was Danilo Voivodkin.
It wasn't him? Okay.
Yeah.
About time people push back on the ridiculous contracts. 2-0 in Bellator for Schoenfelder, 3 years younger than the challenger. What are the odds, Gumby? And who's going to win?
I'm going to say like -400 on Bailey Schoenfelder.
Oh, he nailed it. Boo.
Oh, all right.
You finally nailed one.
Yeah, like +300 on Guarascio.
Correct.
Yeah,
you nailed them both.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Bailey Schoenfelder. It might be a little too steep for me, to be honest, though, because he really threw up a dud in that Contender Series fight.
And it's heavyweights.
And it's heavyweights, and he's a really small heavyweight, too. He's like I want to say like 235 guy with like no cut in him. He's really probably better built to be a light heavyweight, despite the fact that would take an immense amount of work and cutting. But, he's fast. He throws pretty good combinations. Obviously in that last fight, he didn't keep himself safe the way that he needed to. But he's looked really good against some pretty high level competition. Like the fight he won the belt against was against that other stocky guy who made it on to Greg Velasco. He fought Greg Velasco. He looked great in that fight. I love the way he picked Velasco apart. The problem with me here and why I probably don't like him at -400 is Guarascio is he just throws really nice bombs. Like this guy has got crazy knockout power. He's like he's like what Roy Nelson turned into at the end of his career, where he was just throwing that overhand right and trying to knock people silly, and completely forgot that he knew how to grapple at a black belt level. And Guarasco, I don't, or Guarascio or whatever however you say his name, like
put some respect on his name, Gummy.
I don't think he has the grappling game to fall back on, but like he has that style of just like, I'm going to line this punch up, and when I land, you're going to go to sleep. And he's knocked a lot of people out that way. And Schoenfelder, having just recently messed up real badly and let somebody hit him and then submit him, like it at least gives me pause on playing him before I play him at -400. But officially, who do I think is going to win this fight? Bailey Schoenfelder.
All right. That's all we care about. Who's going to win the fight? Let's give you a recap. More bombs with the Z in that breakdown too, Gumby. That's going to be the episode is going to be bombs.
It's a heavyweight episode,
Yeah, exactly. If I haven't used that before, bombs is the title. All right. We got Schoenfelder. Because we're all team riding with Gumby. We got Rentz. We got Martins. We got Hinel. And we got Marsh. All right, later on, Zep and Moon Powell. When you have odds for one more fight, do you care what fight it is, or you got your own picks?
Well, I got my own picks, so we'll see if I hit it. Do you have Lucas Cortez in there?
No, I don't.
Well, Lucas Cortez is a 1-0 guy. He trains out of American Top Team. Real fun prospect. Great top control. Arm triangles. Does a good job working to the back. Probably a favorite if I had to guess in this one because he is a really nice prospect at 1-0. The other one I got is Blake Smith. I don't know if you got odds on Blake.
I do have odds for that one. Yep, mine is 300 for him.
That's kind of upsetting. He's fought a really high level.
Don't be upset.
He's got. Well, I was kind of hoping for better odds on that, but he's fought a really high level of competition. He's like veteran savvy, and I think that should carry him through the fight he's got in front of him. So yeah, give me Blake Smith and Lucas Cortez.
Way to go, unnamed bookie. You made Gumby upset, so you upset him with the odds.
You bummed me out, man.
You bummed him out. Bummed out Gumby. All right. Hopefully you're not bummed out by this episode. It was a fun episode. If you want more picks when more odds drop, or if odds move around or anything like that, you can hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. On YouTube, we're at MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe first, is all I ask. Then you can hit us up in comments. Same with Twitter, SGPN MMA. Gumby handles that account for us. He's at Gumby Reeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Check out my Substack at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's Top Turtle MMA podcast. He has a couple of guests on, usually every week. This week, no exception. Who is on this week?
Cheyenne Bowers and Christian Natividad.
So check it out. And of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your merch, and sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. I guess we'll be back with more regional events. Next week's another busy week, right? With regional.
Yeah, we got good stuff. PFL comes back next week. We got Octagon,
Cage Wars, KSW. Yeah, it's a busy week.
That's maybe too much. That might be
maybe too busy. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, bid the people farewell.
All right, I'm dating Gumby Freeland. He's Shrugmaster Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.